Are you ready to become a master archer? Pull Legolas moves and dominate the Albanese summits with bow and arrow? Well, you've come to the right place, as with this insane endgame ranger build, you can snowball your way through the mountains and have a ton of fun while you're at it. It's probably my favorite endgame build, with which you will not just simply survive, but thrive in the endgame. I'm gonna show you everything you want to know about it, the skill tree, special moves, weapons and armor, how to have infinite arrows, which snacks to eat, and last but not least, make short work of the new dragon boss like a true champion, without using any weak cheese methods, because with all honesty, if you're doing that, your build simply doesn't work. Anyways, it's rare to find developers these days who constantly listen to their audience and deliver great content based on our feedback. Therefore, I like to once again say a big thanks to Keen Games, the Enshrouded developers, for bringing top-tier content to the table once again with this new update. If you couldn't agree more, hit that like button and share your love about the game in the comments down below. I'm also honored to say that they wanted to collaborate with my channel, make a couple guides for it. Honestly, there is nothing better than creating content for a game that you love. Anyways, if you're new to it or want to know more about the update, check out my link in the description down below. And of course, the dozens of videos on my channel which I've made for Enshrouded. Alright, let's start off with the build itself. An endgame build which is gonna work in any situation really. I'm gonna refit my skill points right here to make it a little bit easier to explain what you want to pick up and when. Important, I still have plenty of the shroud roots I have to chop down, which will give us even more of those skill points. So for this build, you definitely don't need a high level. You can do this with level 25 to 30. I'm currently level 34. First off, if you're in the early game still, this build can also work like a charm if you spend your points accordingly. First pick up things like the lumberjack, the miner, quality gear and mason to make farming resources more efficient and also break your tools less quickly. Anyways, probably the first thing you want to pick up is the eagle eye, the updraft and also the double jump. These are going to make your adventures so much easier. So we're going to start off by pick up marksman, increase your range damage, eagle eye so you can zoom while aiming, silent stride to increase movement speed while sneaking, airborne to reduce your stamina when gliding, and the updraft. After that, I think what you want to do is also focus on the double jump. We're going to pick up the endurance right here, the runner, and pick up double jump. This one right here is only necessary for melee builds, so don't waste any points on it. Right now, we want to focus on sharpshooter, further increase our range damage, deal more range damage against ranged enemies, even flying enemies. And this is where you can find the bee sting. Boy, oh boy, this one is so satisfying, as if you draw your bow in the air, you will have a slow fall effect. It's super satisfying in taking down different enemies. We're going to pick up everything else right here as well for bonus points. The multi-shot. When using regular arrows, there is a chance to spawn a flurry of arrows that will spread slightly. Basically makes your bow a shotgun. Very satisfying for close range targets. Right now, we also want to pick up the multi-shot spread to also have a 25% chance to spawn additional projectile. Anyways, right here, we have the endurance point we want to pick up. Sniper, further increase your critical strike chance with a bow. Also restore 5 mana when you do this. Pick up the dex. Blessed arrows, also more mana, more dex. Pick up the bounty bonanza. Ricochet, this is with explosive arrows, not very interesting, but it will give you access to the endurance and also the graceful stride. You will gain 1 dex for every 2 levels of the flame, which is very nice if your flame shrine is on a high level. Right now, we're gonna start focusing on some different things that can, well, help us for survivability. Let's start off with intelligence right here. Increase your magic damage. Not very important, but this one can help with magical arrows, which we're going to talk about in a second. Take the arcane deflection. Also not an important one, but primarily you want to have the blink. With the blink, we can also get emergency blink. Whenever we get stunned, this will break the stun state if you use your roll or dash ability. For melee, it can be interesting if you want to do a hybrid build to pick up evasion attack right here. So a very short tree basically to pick up a whole lot of interesting stuff. You also want to go for the strength or constitution right here because we want to go for the feast. Gonna talk about that in a second. Take the warrior's path right here. But with feast, you can increase your HP by an additional 15%. Drastically increases your survivability. Right now, we're also going to focus on the survivor tree. So pick up the endurance right here. Also the wanderlust. Most of these are just for travel purposes. Take the swift shot. 30% chance to spawn a stamina orb when defeating an enemy with a bow. We can also take this one. Reduce stamina consumption when climbing. Not really important. We want to go with the backstab mastery, as this one will increase our damage done from the back with bows also. Very nice one if you take out your enemies from behind. Good metabolism will make these orbs even better. Also pick that up. Increase your base stamina regen by 50. Stamina regen of sweets by 50, because we're also gonna start working our way to the dessert stomach to actually get a 4th slot for snacks. Also pick up the endurance right here. So that's already a whole lot of different things, right? Now though, we also want to take the sneak attack. This one sounds weird, I know, but it's required to make your way to the backstab damage. Also increases the backstab damage with bows. Opportunity not necessary, power parry not necessary, but do take the well rested. Increase your duration of the rested by 5 minutes. Not super important, but it can be nice. Same with the savior, but right now we still have 6 more points. So yeah, where do we place him? Poison resist, nah. Inner fires is a nice one. Increase your time in the shroud. We can further increase that with this one. I don't really need this though, but yeah, I think it's going to be more interesting to focus on additional dexterity, additional endurance, and you can even further increase your constitution to get much more HP. Right now we've got 1 point left. This is what we're going to use it for. So there we have it. All points distributed. You can do that double jump. You can slowly fall with the snipe. We have our dash for added maneuverability, which is super satisfying. Let's move on to the armor. Right now I'm using a composite bow. I'm going to talk about the bows in a second. Also a Mountain's Shadow Shield. Pretty decent block and parry power. Also just for occasions when we want to use it. Not very important. The glider. But also an exceptional ring of both stamina and mana to increase our stamina and mana regeneration and increase the maximum. I also have the full Trailblazer set equipped. Critical strike damage, ranged critical strike damage, and frost resist. Increased stamina, rested. We've got some skill shot and bow damage right here. Also stamina regen and stamina. Some stamina regen delay and additional stamina regen. These can all be crafted with the new resources. Be sure to check out my guide at the top right of the screen if you want to know the best locations where to farm for them. Anyways, the Alpine Antler set could also be interesting. Comes with ranged critical strike chance, stamina and HP, damage against flying foes. Very nice for flying creatures like the final boss, increased range damage, etc. But I just really like the Trailblazer set. And yes, you've probably noticed that I have a different look on the armor. That's where my transmog comes in for the Wolffang set. So I use the Wolffang chest, the gloves, the trousers, the boots. And for the helmet, I use the Eagle Eye. Anyways, let's move on to all the different bows you can use. I've collected many different ones during my adventures, so let's talk about every single one of them. My hands-down favorite, I think, is the Avalanche Starter. Comes with piercing damage, ice magic damage, increased critical hit damage, stamina regen, and life unleash when dealing damage. I wasn't able to find this one for the maximum level yet. Currently using the composite bow, also amazing to deal with enemies with high armor because it has triple piercing armor bonus, increase your critical hit chance, and also restore 5 stamina with your skill shots. Alternatively, you can also use a Shadow Bane. Shroud magic damage, backstab damage. If you hit enemies from behind, it's going to be amazing. And on hit, you will leech both stamina and HP. So it can be very nice for added survivability. I'm using or equipping both during my adventures because if one happens to break, I can just switch to another one. Forsaken, not a big fan of this one because it has the retaliation. Especially the Devilish Bow is bad because it has it 2 times. I mean, this is a deflect ability, so you can return damage back to the attacker if you get hit. But that is something you want to avoid at all times with all the added maneuverability and mobility you have with the build. I already hear some people think out loud, but arrows, do you never run out of them? How frustrating can this be? And I couldn't agree more with that, but thankfully, with a recent update, we actually gain access to eternal arrows, which basically allow you to fire them as much as you like, have an infinite supply as long as you have mana. So what you want to do if you have access to the ancient spire of Blackmire is fly to the northeast to this little hermit camp. All the way to the top, this is where you can find these purple arrows sitting on a side with a ladder. If you pick them up, well, there you go. You get your hands on the Eternal Frost Arrow. Just cycle in between the arrows, and right now you can fire these as much as you like. They even come with a very nice freezing effect. The mana cost is no problemo, while I do recommend you to switch to steel if you want to hit the hardest, as these without doubt are the best arrows to craft. That's why you want to process steel bars inside your base at all times. I also have some shrub bushes growing 24/7, so I can get my hands on all the twigs I will ever need. Well, for feathers, you want to make your way to the Camellia Lake Marble Quarry, west of the ancient spire of the Albanese summits, as this place is filled with the dragon birds, which, well, with this build are easy to take out. Now, let's talk about some delicious snacks, which I think can work amazing with this build. Did you see that massive HP bump right there? That's because of the amazing skill we picked up earlier. So first off, I think the best dish as of today is the beef stew. This one comes with a +4 strength, +4 health regen, +4 constitution, and +3 frost resist. It doesn't come with dexterity or stamina regen. It's just a really nice one to deal with the cold, have more HP and HP regeneration. So an essential one to pick up in my opinion. All the meats basically come with this kind of stuff. Chicken soup, yeah, much less stats. The dexterity snacks, vegetable puree is nice, but the vegetable soup is even better. And then supplies for endurance. These are liquids, all very interesting. While primarily I like to make milkshakes because these of course come with the best stats. Maybe popcorn or some sugar, but I think the grilled yucca fruit is the best because it's super easy to get your hands on. Well, you could also focus on a fruit bowl or a pumpkin soup. I mean, the pumpkin soup, look at all the bonuses it comes with. Stamina recharge, frost resist, and health regen, for which, of course, you're going to need some pumpkins and the frizzy milk once again. There are quite a lot of pumpkin farms in the Albanese summits. I even have one right there on the other side of this canyon. Alright, so now that we've talked about all the essentials, it's time to check out the boss. Man, I can't wait to show him to you guys and how exactly this build works. Just really slaps in pretty much any situation, but especially this one, because, I don't know, ranged builds are amazing against it. This is also why I, by the way, recommend you to place a flame shrine at the very top of the Howling Peak. It's gonna make it so much easier to reach him. Right now we're just gonna quickly glide down and pick up this checkpoint. Don't really think you're gonna need that, but also double check you have the right arrows selected. And yeah, let's face the boss. It's important to know that right here you're gonna need a whole lot of maneuverability to make it easier to dodge his scary attacks, and we're even getting a blizzard right now. That's just perfect. Always aim for the head when you get the chance. That's gonna deal the most damage. That's already a flamethrower right there. Just gonna fly to the other side right here. And that's where he throws in his boulders. There are different attacks. You're gonna see them a couple times. Once you know his skill set, it's gonna be pretty easy to take care of him. This is probably one of his favorite attacks from me personally, because you have a lot of time to just fly around and start shooting arrows from the sides or from the back. Hit him in the face especially. Just gonna glide to the other side right here. Reposition. There we has his Deathwing attack. He just tried to knock us into the shroud, but also that is pretty easy to counter. Right now we're just gonna have to perform a double jump. Dodge that flamethrower. Yeah, that one can be scary. But don't you worry about the fire damage. Once you've landed, you can just dash and that will instantly get rid of the flame effect. Right now we're just gonna use a regular bandage. Woo! Yes, this is our window of opportunity. Check out the damage right there. Oh, that was the wrong direction, actually. It's always going clockwise. That's his wing gust. Here we once again get a nice opportunity to deal a ton of damage. Look at how quick he's losing HP right here. That's a double jump right there. Oh, he's giving us a lot of free time. Look at the damage we were able to deal right there. I'm gonna quickly reposition myself. And a double jump. It's pretty nice that you can actually use these little snow rocks to LOS that ranged attack, basically. There we go. Still full HP, full mana, as you can see. I think we've only used, yeah, 2 bandages so far. And this is our window of opportunity once again. Another firing me laser. Oh wow, that was close. You definitely don't want to fall in the shroud. I think that's the scariest thing that can happen in this boss fight, really. If you know what you're doing. Dash to get rid of that fire ticks. Here comes the rain dance. And our window of opportunity to strike. We've only used 4 bandages so far. Not a single potion or resistance things, whatever. All not necessary with this build. Sometimes you can even just take the risk and get hit by some attacks. Whew. Those were some pretty hard hits right there. I think this is gonna be his end. If we get lucky with the crits. Ooh, very close right there. Yeah, right now we only have to hit him one more time. So let's wait for him to say cheese. There we go. A piece of cake, and we didn't even break our first bow. So you don't even have to bring a second one if you have the right amount of damage. Anyways, let's loot the corpse. That's 5 shroud cores, a Fel Dragon Youngling head, runes, and the Major Arcana weapon. Again, if you want to have amazing legendary farms, I think you definitely want to check out my videos in the top right of the screen to farm pretty much all the loot you can find in the new Albanese summits. All sorts of rings, especially the Ring of Frost, I think is a very nice one. But of course, after some time, you're just gonna replace that one with an exceptional Ring of Stamina and Mana to make this build even more powerful. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Everything you need to know about this insane endgame Ranger build. If you enjoyed the content, a like would be very much appreciated. You have no idea how much it can help my channel with the algorithm. I'm gonna take the opportunity right here to once again say that I really love the new update, all the additions, especially the biome I think is beautiful. It's filled with treasure and challenges. That's what I really like about the game. Would love to hear your thoughts about the update as well. Let them know in the comments. Right now though, it's 4 AM out. I want to wish you an amazing day. I'll check you in the next video or live stream. Peace.